what's it called? Gobbler? Gob
No, worm.
Gabagoo.
Worm.
No, the second one
The
that he did.
successor. Oh,
Yeah.
hustle.
Hustle. Huh. That was close.
Cold Beet Soup is a podcast for casual fans who want to explore lore and fandom rabbit holes in music and gaming.
And are sad sometimes.
And we're live. Welcome.
Yay!
I need to start. That time it was my fault. That time it was my fault. No, that time I take the blame because I didn't even let you speak.
I'm used to it, don't worry.
Oh, oh, I'm too chatty. What chatty Kathy?
No, I mean just in general in life.
Oh, I thought you meant like me not letting you speak.
No.
Oh, it goes deeper than that. Ooh, it's a
Hello,
sad girl.
darkness, my old friend.
It's a sad girl episode. I've been listening. I listened to a little bit more Billie Eilish music, and I was like, "Oh, she's a sad girl like me. Why would I listen to her more?" Her music? She's actually. I'm like, dang, I missed out. Like, because I listened to the new album
Mm,
quite a bit, but I haven't. Besides that, like, "You Should See Me in a Crown" song. And
mm.
that what's that other? Dun 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 dun
Oh,
dun
yeah, yeah, yeah.
dun.
Bad
Dun.
guy, right?
Yeah, Bad Guy.
I'm the bad guy.
Duh. She has a song with snippets from The Office, which was amazing. I was like, "What? She likes The Office? Hell yeah." So, yeah, I'm gonna be listening to her more. Channel that sadness. Anyways, welcome to Cold Beet Soup. Um, we are gonna discuss. Well, I'll let you introduce it. It's your topic. What am I doing here?
Snake. I'm a snake. There you go.
I'm a snake. Where's that from? Was that the
Was
Harry
it a
Potter?
vine?
Oh, I was thinking Harry
No.
Potter puppet pals.
Oh, no, it's on.
It's gotta be a vine. See, vines will never die, people. I'm telling you. Oh yeah, that dude. I'm a snake. Oh my god, the youngins don't know. The youngins don't know. That's amazing. Yeah, we'll put it up. Throw it on the screen for us. I love Snake. That was like I wonder I remember when you told me you were gonna do this, and I
Mm.
actually thought I was wondering if it was one of the first games I've ever played. Like ever, ever. Maybe.
For me, it was Tetris.
Yeah, I don't know what the first video game I've ever played is. I remember I remember at the dentist office, they had a Game Boy Color, and they had, I think it was Sabrina the Teenage Witch, because when I got a Game Boy, I got that game because I wanted to play it more. So I remember that game, but I remember like I can't remember which came if the Nokia came before that or after because my parents had like a Nokia and I knew they had games on there, like a
Mm.
racing game, and they had this for sure.
Mm.
So that's why I'm like, I don't actually remember. And then I remember like going to your guys' house to play Super Nintendo when you guys had it.
Mm.
So I don't know. But anyways, this game has history, so I'm very excited to hear about it. Cause like who doesn't know Snake?
Right. So the history, like, this is not going to be a long episode because there is some history, unlike Uno, where it was like, yeah, father created it in like the 70s. and that was it. I was like, oh, guess I'm not doing Uno.
Don't you hate that? I was researching my next topic, and the a new Mario Party game just came out not
Yeah.
that long ago, and I was like, "Oh, does Mario Party have lore?" And someone did make a video. There's a couple videos on it, and I'm not throwing shade on them because they're very good videos. But to me, the lore in itself was kind of boring.
Mm,
Because it really is like the TLDR of that lore is it's some like weird world where they're just trying to find the best superstar, and there is like some cohesion, I guess,
mm,
um, to like the different maps and the story or something like that. Some even have like a story mode where it's
mm,
just the story. So I was like, okay, that could be. But as I looked at it, I'm like, my heart's not in it. I was like, I'm not. There's not enough here for me
mm.
to feel good about doing like a whole episode on it. Again, not throwing shade on the videos. Like, I think the
Right.
videos were a decent length, but for a podcast, I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I feel you when the like you find a thing and like you're like, oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
And you're
for
just like,
for this for this there's not much of a lore aspect, but it's very interesting how it came to, like how it started and everything. Cuz I thought it just showed up on the Nokia.
yeah.
I just yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better, because I remember I was like, oh yeah, we only do lore stuff. And I'm like, oh wait, no. Our intro says fandom rabbit holes. And like last week
Mm,
was Melee, which really
there
it's not
yeah.
lore. It's like the fandom of the
Mm,
competitive, Melee as a whole. So
yeah.
I think we're still fine. It's just I don't know what my problem is. I just sometimes I'm so confident and wrong, and so I apologize. Strong and wrong, like my choir teacher used to say.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, she said she wants us to sing strong and wrong. That way she can correct it. She's like, if I can't hear you singing incorrectly, I can't fix it.
Okay, okay.
Dude,
That's
she was an OG.
that's good because I thought you meant like she's like, yeah, I want you to sing wrong.
No, imagine. No, she was amazing. She was actually probably one of my favorite teachers. She was like this little Greek woman who wore high heels, by the way, and she like did I think like Taibo. You remember Taibo, like those workout
Yeah, my
videos,
mom did that. My mom did that for
dude?
the longest
And
time.
she was like jacked, like in a but like not in a like body, but like in a like I was like, damn, she works out. And she always like she walked with purpose and yeah, she was awesome. She was a really good teacher. So, and she definitely was passionate about choir.
Mm,
Um, that was like probably my one of my favorite. I was like, even though I graduated high school early, I came back to do not with the choir itself, but we had a group called Ninth Harmony, which for the record, we existed before Fifth Harmony. So just saying, but it was like a student led group. My choir teacher's like, yeah, you could still like, because we had a concert in the spring. It was called a Pops concert where we would sing pop music. She's like, oh, you
mm.
can come back for that. That's chill. And I was like, yeah. But beyond that, I wanted nothing to do with my high school anymore. I was
Yeah,
like, but I'll come back for the concert.
I don't get those people in high school who just graduate and then they come back and they visit the teacher and they're like, "Hey, oh my god." I'm like, that's
Yeah,
weird.
it does feel weird. I think I would be okay with visit. I loved some of my teachers. So like my teachers were cool as hell. Um, So I would definitely want to see them again. The reason why I wouldn't want to go back is because then I'd see like the other students. Because even if
Mm,
you just graduated, the younger grades, there's like 3 grades below you that have seen you before. And
right.
I'm just like, ugh, like I don't want anything to do with that. Like I feel like that chapter is closed in my life and I'm just
Mm.
done. But if it was like after school and there's like no one around and we could just like
Yeah, that's different.
chat.
Not like during class
Yeah,
time and
during
they
class
walk
is
in, they're like,
weird as
"Oh my
hell.
god,
Yeah, I was in the neighborhood. I'm like, do you
Yeah.
not have a job or like aren't you in college or like what are you doing all the day? Like why are you here? Um yeah, I'm not like that either. I like once I was done, I'm like peace and disappeared. I think that's partially why I graduated early too. I was like, yeah, I could stay or I could like start college already and I was like ready to be done.
Feel you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Anyways,
Snake.
snake. Sidetracked.
Boo. Before Snake, there was Blockade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right?
I'm glad they
So,
rebranded.
well, Blockade was owned by Gremlin.
Okay.
It
Who's
was
that?
an arcade machine,
Okay.
like a machine company. So
Gremlin?
these are some Gremlin. Oh my,
Mhm.
what did I say? Gremlin?
Gremlin.
Oh, all right, let's start over.
Delilah's my favorite.
So
That'll always
Snake,
we'll never
before,
forget Delilah.
right?
Dahlia.
Before there was Snake, there was Blockade by Gremlin.
Wow. Okay. Tell me more.
So, here's some advertisements for it. It was just an arcade machine, and the middle here is like shows how it looked like on the screen. So it's like basically Snake, but it was developed by Lane Hawk. Hawk 2.
Pull on that thing.
And released in November of 1976. Gremlin was basically a arcade game manufacturer active from the 1970 to 1983, based in San Diego, California. It was acquired then by Sega in
Hmm.
1978, and afterwards was known as Gremlin slash Sega or Sega slash Gremlin. So what this game was, it wasn't like how we know Snake as, one person player and you're just
Mm-hmm.
going and collecting until, like, the snake is, big. This game is a two-player game where each player controls the directions of the arrow of the screen, which creates a trail behind them. The object is to avoid any wall surrounding the playfield or trails created by the other player for a select number of turns.
Okay. I was about to say, because even looking at the screenshot in the middle, you
Mm,
can tell that there's two lines there. So I'm like, okay,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is different. And you
So,
can kind of tell on the screenshot on the right. It's a bit hard. You can better tell on the left because there's two sets of buttons
yeah.
on the machine itself.
Mm. So it was like when we went to that arcade place in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Did Tetris have like two? Was it two player or was it
Oh
one
yeah,
player?
yeah. Tetris is
Okay,
two player. Yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah. That's how I assert my dominance there. I'm like, you got to play me for it, bitch. And they're like, oh god, she's here again.
Not
She's
again.
crazy. She's crazy. Like, well, just leave it alone.
You
I'm
just
sad
leave
they
her in
didn't
her
have this
corner.
though. I've never seen this at an arcade. Probably because it's so old though. I wonder
Well,
how
this.
popular it was. Is that why?
Well, um, um, it was shown on the 1976 Music Operators of America Expo in Chicago, where
Hmm,
Gremlin received 3,000 orders of the game. So
that's not a
that's not
lot.
much. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's probably
and
why.
Blockade was Gremlin's highest rated ranked game, tying for 10th place along with Indy 4 by Atari.
Okay.
And then by 1977, they had no more arcade games following Blockade, which led to the company being purchased by Sega on
Mm,
September 29th, 1978.
makes
So
sense.
they're this was like
Yeah, it's kind of
highest ranked.
niche. Yeah.
Yeah.
And since it's from that era as well, like you need to maintain those arcade machines and probably
Mm-hmm.
nowadays like not as many people know how to do that, so that makes a lot of sense. Would be
I
cool to
wonder.
see though.
Let me see if we could see
You know what place
block.
might have it? There's another bar in Chicago, arcade bar, but they take quarters. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember what it's called, but they had a lot of older stuff, like kind of niche. They even had a Star Wars game where you get to go, it's like an actual pod and you
Mm-hmm.
close the pod and you're like in a simulating being in a, I can't remember if it was an X-wing or, but it was cool. But they had a
Hmm.
lot of like old games. Um and I think it was, gosh, I can't remember if you had to pay to like get in or if you could just come in and then just, spend the quarters how you want on the machines. So,
Hmm.
but I can't
I
remember.
like
I mean, if you look up arcades in Chicago, you'll be able to find it because it's the only one that takes quarters.
I like the one we went to because it was like
Yeah, because it's free
it was
play.
yeah.
Everything's on free play, so it's just you don't have to pay any. You can come in even if you don't drink, like because it's a bar, but they expect people to like buy food and drinks, and that's how they make a lot of their money. They also do a lot of events. But yeah, all the games are on free play, so you can just, you know, play what you want and it's 2 floors and they always swap machines around. Because I knew that where they would move Tetris, whenever they moved Tetris, I would know because I'm like, oh, it's not there anymore. When I used to go there a lot, I could tell when you could tell when they
Right,
swap
right.
stuff around. Even the pinball machines were seasonal. They would swap them around. So it was cool stuff.
I found where someone I think is selling one
Ooh,
for $700, but I don't know. I don't feel like
that's
that's
not
right.
bad. Is that a
Yeah,
bid?
cuz no, it's saying it's in
Oh.
Ohio. It says fantastic condition. This may be one of the few that escaped the Gremlin factory when they merged with Sega. I've never
Whoa.
opened the back, so maybe a prototype. I don't know.
Whoa, that's cool. What about
Yeah.
shipping?
I don't know. It's some thread. So people wrote very
Oh.
cool PM sent, interested PM sent.
Oh. Nice.
Hmm.
That's
So I
cool
don't
as
know.
hell. Okay.
But $700 for that would be cheap.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Considering
I'm assuming arcade games, especially niche ones, are pretty expensive. No.
I would think so. I definitely have looked up how much a Tetris machine costs before, and I think it was like over 1,000, but let me look up.
Hmm.
Tetris arcade machine. Uh, not many. I don't want them. I don't want a mini. I want a big one. Oh. Oh, it's one of those. No, I don't want that shit. I don't want that cheap shit. You know how they have the like Target arcade game, class of
Ah, yeah.
81, $500. I don't want that. Bunch of nonsense. Oh my God, leave it to Wayfair. Wayfair has one for almost 2 grand. Not Tetris
Of
though.
course they do.
Yeah, here it is. Tetris arcade. Damn. Okay, so this one is 1,380, but then this one is $3,489.
What the hell?
It's
That's a
from
different.
1988. Great condition, rare. Let's see, eBay. Maybe it's because of the year it's from. It looks like the one I saw in Chicago. Dang, hey, free shipping though.
Yay!
Dang,
I
he
man,
sold
if
5 already. He only
how
has
does
one
he have
left.
5?
Wow, he only has one left. We gotta buy it. Oh my gosh, there's
How
no
is it
time.
rare? And he's like, yeah, I got 5 of them just sitting around. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. This is crazy. Wow. Pin Bulbs and Arcades Inc. Pin Bulbs, Bulbs is with a Z. So edgy. That's crazy. Yeah, but it goes for like this other one's 2200. Oh, that's a centipede machine, my bad. Yeah, arcades go for a lot. So 700, but how old is that thread? Is that an old
July of
thread?
this year. July of this year. Hmm.
Dang. Okay. Huh. Crazy. 700 is not a bad deal.
No, that's cheap. That is cheap, 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 cheap.
Cheap, cheap. Who's this handsome fella in this?
Well, first we're gonna talk about Bigfoot Bonkers on the top left. This is another arcade game.
What
It's
is that
produced by
joystick? Oh my god.
it was produced by Meadow Games in 1976. Players move their blocks around across the screen to create walls to try to surround their opponents and force them to crash into the wall or any block or obstacle like a foot. You see that little like a foot.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
it.
Uh, Meadow Games released 17 machines.
Okay, so what does this have to do with Snake though? Because
It's
the other
another
one was from
type of
77. Okay, just a different type, kind of.
yeah. So this
Okay.
is like
Oh, so they didn't have like an IP for like how like
yeah.
Tetris or rights or
Mhm.
anything. So people were
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
so this is 76, but the other one was from 77. Or was it
Was it?
76 as well? Oh no, it's 76. Okay. So this
Yeah.
one came first, then that one.
Mhm.
Ah, so we made it a bit more involved.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, we got to go into this." And then there was a
Nibbler.
computer-based game version
Mhm.
called Worm, programmed in 1978.
Okay.
It was programmed by this guy, Peter Trafonas.
Peter Parker.
I tried to find like a picture of the game
Da, da,
Worm,
da,
but
da,
like I
da.
couldn't find it. Well, he could be Peter
You can
Parker.
only see all you see are pictures of him. None of the actual game. That's so funny.
It was made for
Cool.
the TRS-80.
Oh wow. I think I know
Yeah,
what that is.
it's a computer, I
Yeah, but it's like
guess. Old.
yeah, but I think I've like I
Seen it?
remember.
It was published by not Cloud, Cloud,
Radio, Radio Shack.
CLOAD magazine in '78.
CLODE?
No, CLOAD. Cloud,
Cload?
Cloud, Cload.
Cload?
I don't know.
Claude? Dang.
So Peter here is a college student. Well, was a was.
He still is. Hey, you
Yeah,
can go back to
he's
college
true.
when you're older. Hey.
He was a college student in New Orleans with ideas for games that were run on this popular TRS-80 computer. While fiddling with ways to control game movements with the keyboard, he happened upon a bug in his code that left a graphical trail on the screen as the
Hmm.
cursor moved, like a snake or a worm slithering around. And that was like his aha moment in '78. So he proceeded to write Worm for several computers, including the freshly launched Apple II Plus.
Whoa.
Whoa!
I remember that release date. That was
Yeah, same
crazy.
here. He even wrote a version of two players who can share different sides of the same keyboard
Oh, that's
and
cool.
coded a successor game called Hustle where the worm grew longer as it gobbled up its target.
Uh,
So
what did he program it in?
I think I did I write it? Ah, shit. I thought I wrote it somewhere. It might be in the next slide where we talk about computers, I think.
Okay, I'm just curious if it was like COBOL or C or Fortran. It's got to be one of those
Yeah, totally.
older languages. But so that sounds like classic Snake. What's it called? Gobbler? Gob
No, worm.
Gabagoo.
Worm.
No, the second one
The
that he did.
successor. Oh,
Yeah.
hustle.
Hustle. Huh. I was close.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
Gobbler makes more sense but that Hustle's the one where the snake gets bigger.
Yeah, and
Okay, so
gobbles
that
up its targets. That's where you got gobble from.
yeah, Gobbler. There you go. But it doesn't say
So
anything about if you hit your tail, right?
no, it just says you try to grow it as a longer. But I'm
It
assuming
just goes forever.
yeah, you just play forever. So
Hmm.
Nibbler is an arcade snake maze video game released in '82 by Chicago-based developer Rock Ola.
Yeah.
The basically the player navigates a snake through an enclosed maze, consuming objects, and the length of the snake increases with each object. The game I wanted to talk about it because it was the game. The game was the first to include 9 scoring digits, allowing players to surpass 1 billion points.
Oh.
Hmm.
When did Pac-Man come out? I'm gonna look that up because I'm looking at that map and it looks kind of like Pac-Man.
You like Pac-Man, yeah.
Yeah. 1980. They copied them.
Surprise, surprise!
I feel like back then though, like I mean, and
Everything
you
was up
you
for
did
grabs.
right, and you did modify it enough. It does play a
Mm-hmm.
lot differently, but there were no enemies, so
Mm-hmm.
you're
No,
just
going forever and ever.
it's got no. I have a feeling that you die when you hit your tail.
Probably, yeah.
You have to, because otherwise there's no end in sight.
In the US, this game was amongst the 13 highest grossing arcade games of '83. Nibbler.
I could see that.
And just some interesting facts about this game, because I was like, the fuck? The first to achieve this feat of like over a billion was a 17-year-old named Tim McVie, who scored 1 billion. How do you read this? 42,270 points on January 17th, 1984, while playing continuously for 44 hours.
No way! You have to
Hmm.
pee.
Over 2 days at Walter Day's Twin Galaxies Arcade in Atumawa, Iowa.
Weemoy, weemoy.
That's what I thought too. Well, what's interesting is he was he's consistently
He shit
his
himself.
mark. Imagine he
But
no,
like
but
seriously, what about the bathroom?
I don't know. He's a man. Just hold a bottle up.
Uh, that's a good friend right there. Damn, that's crazy. Oh
But his
wow.
mark consistently stood for nearly 3 decades before it was surpassed twice,
No one's fucking
including one
crazy
by
enough to play.
right. No, but it gets crazier. Hold on. Including one by Richard in 2009. But McVie was still recognized by Guinness World Records as the official record holder because the other scores were never submitted for verification.
Hmm.
Rick Carter of Glen Burnie, Maryland, officially claimed the new world record with a score of 1,02,222,360 on July 31st of 2011. But
Damn.
then McVie came back and was like, no, no, no. And he regained his mark on December 25th of 2011 with 1 million or 1,041,776,060.
What
And
the? How long did he play for
then
that time?
it doesn't say, but someone surpassed him in 2023 in January, an Italian player named Alessandro Poro from Trieste. Triest.
T R I
Iest.
E S. Trieste. I said that
Yeah.
in a Swedish way. Trieste.
He got a score of 1,233,326,800 after 51 hours and 55 minutes.
What the is there like a pause screen or I don't understand how people can play for that long, like without
I don't
eating or
know.
drinking anything.
But those like it's like what the I could barely sit and play for a few hours and I'm like, okay, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm hungry.
Wait, Nibbler world record Italian man. How many hours?
51 hours and
Sorry.
55 minutes. I guess this the performance was broadcasted on Twitch.
Man, shut up, Wikipedia. You're always asking for donations. Stop that.
Please, I'm hungry.
Every time. I'm like, oh, and look, you're still working just fine. Stop lying. On Twitch? That's kind of cool. McVeigh, official record holder. Yeah, it was on Twitch. How? I just want to understand.
Like, did they pee?
I don't
There's a
know.
whole video here. It's like 5 hours of just a backup camera on
I can hear the sounds.
him. Does he get
Why
up?
don't people
Hold on.
talk about this more? Like, I don't
No, he gets up.
understand.
He gets up and then he goes to a computer. Or is he playing from the computer? Then he goes to the
Oh,
computer, then he sits by the computer.
because this says playing continuously.
Yeah. I
So,
wonder if this was one of those games where you didn't have to like always keep your finger on it and it just automatically went. I don't know.
yeah. Makes me wonder too, because I don't know. I don't know, man.
My brain.
Well, he said he was holding pizza in his hand.
So then he couldn't hold his pee and pee.
Well, this was about McVeigh, so I'm looking at an article about McVeigh because I couldn't find a reference. I was on Wikipedia, but I couldn't find a reference for the Italian one, but I found this reference. Um, appetites and discomfort fade away, blah, blah, blah. You can hear the exhaustion in his voice, fumbling his words. Um, yeah, that's crazy. Watching him sit on a stool for nearly 2 days.
Oh, my
What?
butt would die.
Yeah, he did mention how it was uncomfortable. That's so insane. He works full time in a manufacturing plant. Okay, interesting. I don't I have no words, man. Um, but it says that's what at least McVeigh did was sit there for 2 days straight, so shit. These they don't play. Oh snap, is that a Texas Instruments? Okay.
Yeah. So in the 80s, which I try to find like an eight, it's from my research, it said that Snake was on the Texas instrument calculators starting from the 80s,
Oh, that's cool as hell.
and you could play it. And then there was the BBC Micro,
Mm-hmm.
the Commandro 64, which I think this one, the
Commodore?
one on the left, Commodore, yeah, is that the this one?
Should be the one I think on the far left.
Far
That looks
left?
like
Yeah,
the
I know this is the Apple II.
in the middle.
This one is. No,
Oh,
the
on the right.
top, the right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Commodore's the one on the far left because of
Mm,
the drive with the little
yeah.
rainbow on it.
So yeah, it became Snake became to these computers, and the popularity skyrocketed in the 80s. There was
Hell
several
yeah.
versions of Snake on the BBC Micro, a game called Snake by John Cox, uh,
Cock.
from computer, yeah, COX, like
Oh,
Dr. Cox from,
cocks. It
yeah.
cut off, so it just sounds like you said cock. I'll show you the audio later. But it literally just said John Cock, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's right. I was like, hold on a minute. Pause, pause.
So the computer concepts were different, and the snake was controlled using the left and right arrow keys relative to the direction it was held. The snake increased speed as it got longer, and there were no lives, making achieving a high score or reaching higher levels relatively difficult, as
Mm.
mistakes mean starting from the beginning. And Snake was conceived in program language C. I don't know what
Oh,
that
and
means.
C, okay.
Mm,
C is like, a lot of games nowadays are in C++. There's also
mm.
C sharp. Um, so C is like kind of the
The original?
OG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, if you, a lot of people that take computer science learn C because you have to learn about like allocating memory and stuff in your
Is it?
programs. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
because
challenging.
it says the game was handwritten line by line and no specific tools or code generators were needed or available to do so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so
That's how it was in the old days. There's no like documents or like
or Google
yeah, or compilers, like you just kind of try it and see if it
and hope for
works.
the
It's
best.
yeah, and see if it works. It's actually pretty impressive like looking at what people were able to come up with. Now you can type something into Chat GPT, write a Python script to do this, and
Oh,
chances
really?
are sure you can. I don't see why not. I don't know how good the code is going to be, but it can, I imagine it could at least give you a skeleton of what you need.
Right.
I haven't tried it myself, but oh, I should ask it to do something in Perl. Oh, I have an idea. All right, I'll see what happens.
All right.
Perl
So
is
we're
like Perl is like a it's a scripting language I learned in school, and like the
mm,
documentation's really bad, or not, it's not necessarily bad, it's just very hard to follow. So
mm,
I feel like I try to like, if I want to keep up with scripting, I need to practice it by writing scripts, of course. And I was
mm.
trying to write a certain script in Perl, but I was just struggling so hard, so I said, "Screw this! I'm doing this in Python," and I got it done in Python in like 20 minutes because there's a lot of good documentation and references. Whereas for Perl, there's nothing. So that's why I was like, I want to ask ChatGPT because I want to see how it would handle that. Anyways, sorry, that was just a
No, you're
nerd.
good. You're good.
Such a dork.
So before I continue this Nokia thing, do you notice the animation in the middle?
Yeah, you got a GIF in there. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I've leveled up.
Yeah, it's mesmerizing. It
So
almost looks like it says level slug on the bottom.
yeah, what would it say? Level.
I don't know. But it looks like it says slug. Dang, look at that
Anyways,
Nokia on the right.
right?
Slick.
I
That's the
think
one that
Nokia still comes out with.
slides.
I
Yeah,
think Nokia still comes out with phones, right?
yes. Yes, they do. They absolutely do. They still make smartphones. I know when I was looking at a new phone, I did look at theirs just out of curiosity.
Mm. Hmm.
I didn't end up getting it because they didn't meet my requirements, but yeah, they still make them. Whoa, they have a Barbie phone. Wait, this says HMD. Who the hell? I click Nokia. What is this? Nokia Android. Wait, did HMD buy Nokia? Anyways, you can keep talking. I'll
Oh,
look.
okay.
I'll,
So in
I'll multitask.
'97
Sorry.
came the landmark edition of Snake, first published by Finnish company Nokia for monochrome 611 6110 phones. So that's the one on the left.
Yup.
And programmed by the company's Tenelli Armanto. Yeah.
Okay.
Snake was embedded into 350 million individual Nokia phones at the turn of the millennium.
Dang.
And Nokia organized two Snake Finnish championships.
That's cool.
Yeah, and similar events were held globally, such as in Australia, where 30 players managed to get the highest score possible, 2008 points on the highest difficulty setting.
Damn.
Snake 2 was included on the Nokia 7110, which is the one on the right here.
Mhm.
And Snake 3 was also released in 2005 for Series 40, J2ME phones. And then Snake was released in 2005 on the N Gauge. The final title was Snake Subsonic in 2017. So they did different games of
Durations, yeah.
Snake. Yeah. And then Gameloft developed and released the 2017 version of Snake as the pre-installed game for several Nokia Series 30 Plus and Kai OS devices. So like Nokia 3310, Nokia
Mhm.
881, so on, so on. Oh shit. That's
So I found out
mm,
HMD Global acquired the rights to use the Nokia brand from Microsoft in 2016. But HMD is
boy.
now dropping the Nokia brand and introducing its own. So Microsoft actually
No.
bought Nokia in 2013. But I swear I looked at Nokia phones and but bye bye Nokia again. HMD is dropping the branding. Sad. That's so sad. Nokia is like I don't
Indestructible.
yeah, and maybe they couldn't live up to the name or something. I don't know. That's sad. I miss Nokia. All right, anyways, go ahead.
November 29th, 2012, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City announced that the Nokia port of Snake was one of 40 games that the curator wished to add to the museum's collection in the future.
Aw,
hmm
nice.
And in 98, Nokia 7110 owners could play a local two-player version using their phone's nifty infrared connections. So
That's
this
cool.
phone. hmm
That's really cool. Like, hey man,
So
we want to play Snake?
yeah, we just gotta sit really close together.
You just hear clicking sounds. Oh,
So
is
we're
that
good.
the Google one
Which one? The
on
right
the
one?
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
fast forward to 2013, Google surprised its users by featuring a playable version of the classic game on its homepage to celebrate 2013 Chinese New Year, which was the year of the snake.
oh.
The game was hidden behind the Google logo, which would transform into the game while click. Basically, then to celebrate in 2018, to celebrate the 19th, which is a weird number to pick, the 19th year anniversary of the game's release, Google brought it back
Hmm.
um, in its original form of select Nokia devices.
Oh,
And then, um, where was it?
so
I just lost my train.
exclusive.
Mm.
19 years?
Uh,
Why 19? Why not 20?
yeah, right. Not 20, not 15. I'm like, okay, 19. That's cool.
Hmm.
And then Snake would. Now this is not now. I don't think you can do it, but when YouTube was like Flash Player,
Oh yeah, Flash Player is not a thing
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. So in this is like 2010, you could play Snake by pressing the left key for 2 seconds, and the game would appear on the screen, and you could play Snake on YouTube videos.
I think when I was researching for like titles and thumbnail, I think I saw a video about that
Yeah,
actually.
they're like this is the only this is from a video someone this is someone's like fucking
Yeah.
thumbnail because I couldn't find like
Yeah. This Flash
picture. I
Player
was
went
looking at
away a while ago.
yeah.
So Yeah, it would be tough to find. That's cool.
So Mother, where are we now with it? There's a few different things. There's Slither.io, which also I believe there's Snake.io too.
Mm-hmm.
This is Slither.io up here. It's basically goofy looking snakes, and it was developed by Steve Housey.
Mm-hmm.
Players controlled an avatar resembling a snake and consume multiple colored petals, both from other players and ones that naturally spawn on the map to grow in size. The object is to basically grow the longest snake in the server, and it's a similar concept to the popular 2015 web game called Agar.io,
Mm-hmm.
and Slither.io came out in 2016.
I think I saw some streamers playing that
Yeah,
back
I've
in the
played
day.
it before with people on Discord.
Yeah.
I think during COVID time, we're like, oh, let's just play this.
Yeah. COVID is just find anything to do, but think
And then
about the
there's
outside.
yeah, and then excuse me, there's a Snake 3D game
Yeah, I see
on
that. It looks kind of
yeah,
crazy.
it's on coolmathgames.com. You basically have
Hold
uh
on. No, you can keep talking. I'm just pulling it up. I want to see.
instead of playing on a 2D rectangular plane, you have a cube where you can hop from one plane to another to eat apples and grow your snake. So it's,
Yee.
a bit more difficult.
Wow, I
And
see all
then
sorts of games. Jelly
I know
Candy
what you're
Drop,
playing tonight.
Hexang, Jewel Burst. Whoa.
Snake Rewind is a mobile arcade video game developed and published by Rumulus Design and was released in May 2015 for like iOS, Android. Um, Tanili Armanto, the developer behind the Snake game um, original Snake game that was included in Nokia games,
Mm-hmm.
partnered with them to create this app. But this app was very glitchy.
Mm.
So
What's
this
the
is
app
the
called
middle
again?
one. Snake Rewind.
Snake Rewind. Okay. Got it.
Hmm. In 2013, wait, 20 no, 2023,
I was
sorry.
like, wait a minute.
In 2023, Snake 97 came out where you could just play retro Snake on your phone. It looks like this. It just you're like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
cool.
wow." Some sources state Snake will be the first mobile game first to be the first mobile game phone game, uh though there was a Tetris-like game for the Hag Hagenuk Hagenuk
What the hell is that?
MT2 2000. It's a phone. Uh,
What is that?
in 1994. Hold on, let me.
Oh, man, I mistyped it and it thought I was trying to write Hanukkah.
They're like, oh,
Haganuk
so
MT2000?
yeah,
Haganuk? What the
HAGE.
This looks like some shit a drug dealer would have. It's a big ass phone.
Well, this is in 1994.
Oh, there was the world's first cell phone with the game loaded on it. So this was it. The phone. There were no cell phones with games prior to 1994.
Mm.
That's the year when the Haganuk MT2000 came out, being the first phone with gaming capabilities. To put things into perspective, Snake came out 3 years later on Nokia 6110.
Mm.
The game chosen by Haganuk was Tetris.
Yep.
Hell yeah. And it
But I
was a
believe,
special. It had the first. It was one of the first phones with soft keys. Ooh.
but I believe Snake, from what I researched, Snake was the first mobile phone. Wait, it was the first. Wait, did I write this down? As the major mobile game, Snake. But the first mobile phone game to uh with sound. I don't know if the Tetris one on the Haganox MT 2000 had a song
Had
playing.
sound?
Yeah,
Uh,
like the Tetris song.
yeah.
Or dropping them. I don't
Did Yeah, because that sound is kind of iconic, so I would hope. Well, it's a cell phone. Wouldn't it have sound for like a ringtone? Yeah, it said yes, the Haganuk had sound. I
Okay,
don't know if the
so
game had sound, but I would. Oh, here it is. This is 37-second YouTube video while they're playing it.
Quick hack on how to unsubscribe from all of your emails at once. Unroll me, and it allows you to.
This is the
ah
Hakenhoek
yes.
T2000s, and to my knowledge, this is the first phone with a game on it. It's from 1994.
Yeah.
Patrick,
Can you play
I will
it?
show you.
Oh, I am. It's not playing. Oh. Wait. It doesn't have any sound. You're just clicking the buttons.
Imagine playing a game.
That, yeah, you just hear the button clicks. Oh, but you didn't get to hear his voice.
Offers.
Listen.
This is the Hakenhoek MT2000s, and to my knowledge, this is the first phone with a game on it. It's from 1994. It offers Tetris.
What country is he
I
from?
will show you.
It just says his name is Robert Webb. Maybe he's Netherlands. He's from the Netherlands. Aw, he seems like a wholesome guy. Yeah, but I love this video because it's like 37 seconds and you like watch him navigate to the game and then you just hear him clicking the buttons as he's like dropping all the pieces. But yeah, that's interesting. So that phone had the first game ever, which was Tetris, but Tetris in itself didn't actually have any sound, but Snake did for the Nokia. So that's kind of cool. It's a good trivia question. People would be up in arms about that.
And then you pull out the 30-second video.
Let's let Exhibit A, Robert's video on YouTube.
Thanks,
There
Robert.
there was I will never forget this. Well, I did partially forget it, so never mind. But there was, there was a trivia question when I was overseas where they were like, what's the furthest British or French, it's like the furthest something something island, and the one that was picked was like a colony, and people lost their minds. Like that shouldn't count. It's just an island. Da, da, da. And like I was just sitting there. I was like, I didn't, because I'm not very good at geography, so I didn't even know. But I remember I was like, damn. So yeah, people get caught up on the semantics of those things. Like you got to make sure you word the question because there's those like it almost seemed like a gotcha question. So people don't really like that, which is fair. Um, but yeah, that's so interesting. The game has evolved so much. I'm really curious about like IP or like the rights because it seems like it's just kind of whatever because there's that cube game and slither.io. I mean, these are people that are not the one. I think the Nokia was really when it was like pretty
It
pretty
says the Snake game IP is essentially owned by Nokia.
essentially. What does that mean? There's like the slither.io is not by them,
It
right?
says
Like
many. Yeah, it says uh, due to the basic nature of the game's concept, many developers can create their own versions without infringing on copyright, like the popular Snake.io game.
makes sense. Okay, that's yeah, then that tracks. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, it's kind of like loosey goosey. You can do what you want.
Mm.
That's pretty cool. I'm also curious what art exhibit um that one in New York, because they said 40 games. So I wonder, is it like iconic games of our time, like something like that,
Or like
or
something that like shaped us, like
yeah,
because that's like
Tetris would be on there. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
mm,
Yay, we learned about Snake. Snake. I'm a snake. No, that's cool. And now I'm like, huh, I want to look at this. I want to find the arcade. I want to play Blockade. I think that would be cool just to play it. A simpler time.
right,
No, it's true though. Like, I like the simplicity of older games sometimes.
right.
Like, you don't have to think too hard. It's usually pretty. The only thing that I don't like about a lot of older games is they don't always explain stuff very well. So you just kind of do stuff and I've had it where I realized later, oh, there's this thing I could have done the whole game and I just didn't know. Um
Mm-hmm.
so that's another thing. Actually, I found out in Zelda Echoes of Wisdom because I just finished my playthrough of that. And I was struggling on stream. Like I looked it up on stream because I was like, I don't know what to do with this puzzle. I'm very confused. And I didn't know that you could, and I'm pretty sure they taught us this and I just like went over my head, so that's nothing against the game. It's completely my fault. But you can, because Zelda has her little wand where she makes the echoes, you hold that button and you can aim the echo further. So if there's like,
Oh,
there was an area where there was this barrier, and I was like, I can't, I kept trying to like build shit, and I was like, I can't do that. But if you hold it down, it'll like kind of try will kind of like pew, go to the other side and then the thing will appear and then of course you can bind to it and move it around and I was like, wow, so many of these puzzles that I got done would have been a lot easier if I knew. But it just went over my head. I don't know. I completely forgot. I But that's a whole other thing. That's like user error, not a game not telling you. Because
right.
back then you just get like instructions.
Or if you go to
Like,
an arcade, there's no instructions.
yeah, that's true. It'll just explain stuff like quickly,
Mm,
like do this thing, and then you just start. And honestly, I feel like a lot of the time you just kind of fumble your way through it
mm.
and figure stuff out. What does this button do? What does that button do? Um, so it's really interesting. I want to go to an arcade again. That was a lot of fun. I like arcades. So, but yeah, we're gonna next week we're gonna talk about I'm gonna talk about gorillas. Their lore is kind of kind of cuckoo bananas, so I'm excited to talk about it. Because they've made a we talked about this the other day, but they have a lot more albums. And then I started
Right.
listening to This Is Gorillas on Spotify for research partially. Because a lot of the stories that they have they demonstrate through music videos. Granted, I'm
Mm,
not watching the music videos on Spotify, but I was just kind of like, oh yeah, they have all these albums, I should listen more. And yeah, I like a lot of their songs. I realized the new ones I heard, I added some new ones on my list, but yeah, so I think it'll be cool. It'll probably be a bit longer. I'll have to see because like
mm.
I want to first explain the concept of the band because I think that's a good like set the tone, and then the little background of all the characters and then kind of how they got together. Um, there is a character named Noodle and she's from Japan.
Okay.
She's pretty cool. I just like her name. I like the name Noodle. I was like, I think that's cool. So, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure
Yes.
you like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate the support. A couple of our episodes did really well, and we thank you for that. How to talk. Oh God. Oh
My God,
jeez.
just end it while you.
End the suffering. But thank you guys, and we'll see you next week. And bye bye.